best game he's had in a Duke uniform, the freshman and the twin, as he came up with a career-high 16 last night.
And he's got a tough situation to replace a veteran player.
Slammed home by Sam Lewis, coming off 16 pretty quiet points last night. Gets his first bucket tonight.
Nice little drive right there. You talk about depth. Certainly Duke was hurt, losing 2 players. There's a not having, for example, Foster or having Gottman.
Deterrent is a first-team All-ACC performer. Ryan Odom trusts Dallin Hall more than anyone else on this roster.
You can see the defensive intensity is playing against Caden team too. So they got to take advantage of that depth against Duke without those 2 key players not playing.
And Boozer got to guard him out there, but he front rims that 3. Brown Hall's in the rebound. Hayden Boozer in the paint, pops it up there. That won't
VHS tape.
Still has it, yes. A tough grind there by Hayden Boozer. Absolutely right about his confidence going sky high. He has 7 points early. Ball's open again, and this one was in the cylinder. It's tipped up and in by Grünloh, the 7-footer.
So, Obi, here's the thing about Grünloh. He was scoreless in their matchup yesterday, but he's been in foul trouble. As their starting center, he's only played 20 minutes in the ACC tournament. Yeah, Shammond Williams, Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson. I mean, that's a pretty good group.
Not too bad. I don't think it's too bad. Vince Carter was so special. So was Jameson.
Amenya trying to weave his way inside and gets a bucket.
This kid's going to be a star. He's starting to probably come back to school, and he is going to ultimately become a star. I'll get the ball inside.
And Grünloh with the stuff.
What I love most about that, OB, Amenya immediately goes over to Sarr and is clapping at him about missed responsibility on the defensive end of the floor. These freshmen are growing up on the fly with more responsibility here at the tournament.
Not freshmen anymore. Are you kidding me? Is this guy
came in shooting 80% in the tournament from the three-point arc.
Scouting report says there's no doubt about his shooting ability.
Boy, Brown just lost it. It flipped out of his hands. And Virginia with the ball down 2. Second half of the ACC Championship. Brought to you by T. Rowe Price here in Charlotte. Our last night in town, Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, and the great Dick Vitale. Grünloh back for Thomas. Off the head fake. All the way through for 2.
Offensive efficiency. What about the pass right there? What about the awareness of Cameron Boozer to know where Evans was on the floor? He does a great job passing the ball, Corey.
Lewis again, way downtown. For 3.
In the quarterfinal round, so he's not even at his own record yet.
So Duke has to try another way. 53-51. Lewis. Grünloh could not finish.
Tried it up with the big guy. They consider him a second-round draft choice from out of Germany. He can shoot the 3. That's what makes him dangerous at his size. Looks today in the NBA, they love having those big guys step out and make that perimeter shot.
But Dickie B. Grünloh also has 3 years eligibility, so he can come back to college. He doesn't have to go into the NBA draft.
Pull up Pop Harris. Never got there. Thomas. Mallory got the pass there, but that one's thrown out of play.
At 13-2 on the season, Virginia at 12-2. Test to Ritter. With a double team, gets it inside and finds.
Continues to develop. This Virginia team gets even better.
You see the note, 10+ points in 3 straight games for Thomas, and Virginia leads it early 7-2. Here is Ames now, working his way in. To Ritter. Again, Thomas.
Ball handler has the ability to make plays off the bounce.
Now goes inside and a foul.
Taking it all the way to the final free, but decided to drive it.
Now he puts up a 3, and it's short, and it's tapped back out by Grünloh. So Grünloh's at the foul line. Let's get your take on the freshman here. You got Grünloh out of Germany, a freshman at 7 foot. De Ritter from Belgium, freshman at 6'9". And then Mallory, who you talked about earlier, the 5'10" freshman from right here in Charlottesville.
My take is you got 3 different type of freshmen. You got one who's 22, 23 years old, who's played 3 years of professional basketball and only has 2 years of eligibility. So we can call him a freshman.
He's really not. Right.
You know what? The simplest way is, because we're here in Charlottesville, just call him a first year. Because when you consider the fact that he only has 2 years of eligibility, so he's a freshman, but he'll never get to be a senior. And so Chance Mallory is a true freshman. So that's the differentiator. Grünloh has 3 years of eligibility. So from a basketball standpoint, he would be considered a sophomore, but it's his first year. So he's called a freshman.
Oh, and back to Pippen for Cal as they trail it by 7. Camden, wide open, connects. Eight seconds to go, 6 to shoot. Thomas for 3. Got a great look, and he drained it. Thomas. Grünloh trying to feed a cutting Lewis into the hands here of DeRitter. And finding.
They should spend 2 weeks on the East Coast. And the reason being is because that would eliminate one of the cross-country trips throughout the season. Now with the league going to 18 games, there will be 4 trips for the 2.
Another extra pass. Thomas for 3. That's no good, and it's tracked down by Grünloh. 2 of 15 from the field this half for Cal. Bell. And just a great box out there by Grünloh, and stifling defense tonight by Virginia.
Well, Virginia's done a great job of keeping Cal off of the offensive glass. That was something that they talked with the Cal Bears about earlier. Grünloh steps out in the game talking about the balanced scoring for Virginia and how the Bears are really top-heavy. They have 4 guys averaging over 13.8 points per game, but all of those guys under their averages outside of Pippen in this. For the entire league, it gives you more opportunities for quad 1, quad 2 wins, is which the like the fact that coaches have taken advantage of it.
Well, you would be if the rankings are as good as they are the way they are now.
No, I would like it better if it was 19.
Okay.
Because that way everybody would play everyone.
Okay.
See, the way with 18 games,
sense.
Each team does not play each other.
Right.
So there are matchups that don't happen. Virginia does not play Clemson this year in the regular season. Duke does not play Miami in the regular season. So 19 games, in my opinion, would have been perfect, allowing teams to be able to schedule one more of those non-conference games, but still everyone plays each team in ACC play.
Hall knocks down a 3 for Virginia. We were talking about that earlier with some people at shoot-around. It's more like
they beat us all 3 times that year, including knocking us out of the ACC tournament in the semifinals. And, of course, led by my dear friend, rest in peace, the late.
It's a North Carolina team that's really good at just about everything offensively, as Young misses at 3, rebounded by Trimble. His stick back will go. Seth Trimble, the only player who was in this game last year, is still on one of these 2 rosters with the opening bucket. And then Wilson's rejection right to DeRitter for the first UVA 2.
Great job by DeRitter cleaning up the action. That's where Virginia's at its best. They're one of the top teams in the country, while averaging over 14.2 offensive rebounds per game.
Here's Dallin Hall. Grünloh, who can shoot that, will shoot it. And we'll miss a 3, rebounded by Trimble.
That's going to be what many people consider the worst shot in basketball. Foot on the line, a long 2 that comes up empty.
North Carolina coming off a 91-69 bludgeoning of Notre Dame Wednesday. Here's Vessar, an excellent 3-point shooter, will be fouled.
Rebounds per game. That should have been his 12th double-double of the season. He was slacking on the glass.
Fair point. The 5 assists helped make up for it, and he had a couple of hockey assists in there, too.
But those assists were coming because he was being double-teamed every time he caught the basketball on the block. All a very good rebounding guard. Had 12 rebounds versus Louisville last week. And now gets Virginia another possession. And oftentimes when you get that extra, feeling good about his game on the road.
Mallory, Grünloh again. way off the mark. It's Malik Thomas down with his third rebound.
And Virginia has numbers. Caleb Wilson is gassed. They didn't recognize Chance Mallory open on the opposite side.
Mallory now a contested three. Who needs to be open? Virginia is...
And Stanford, who went for 36 against the Tar Heels. So point guards have had their way as Chance Mallory knocked down a three on the last possession. He and Dallin Hall have a great opportunity to have a big offensive night.
Virginia's doing what they've done most of the year, hit threes, offensive rebound. They lead by 7. Vessar could not
in this game that play professional basketball in Europe. So when you consider Bogovac, who has the basketball now, DeRitter and Grünloh have all played professional basketball. For those who have exception, to those who played in the G League playing, have exception, which is unconventional.
Hall got Wilson in the air, knocked around, back to
the guy on the offensive end, averaging close to 19 a game.
DeRitter ducks in and draws the...
Able to seal Vessar really 2 feet away from his teammate.
Grünloh misses the first. Tonight on ABC, 5:30 Eastern, NBA Rivals Week continues with the Warriors and the Wolves, followed by the Lakers and Mavericks at 8:30 Eastern. It's all on ABC and the ESPN app. Inside the NBA pregame show before the big night game starts it off at 8.
All eyes on the Warriors now and see what happens.
Grab the ball at some point. It will be Dixon who will lob it to Trimble and defensive rebounds. Caleb Wilson with 10 in that first half. He and Bogovac both in double figures. Wilson too deep and an accumulation until the ball hits the bottom of the net. Trimble hits his first 3 of the game, leads down to 8. Grünloh got position on Vessar, finishes over Vessar. 4. Lead down to 7. Here's Hall. Offensive rebound. DeRitter, no. Offensive rebound again. Grünloh smothered by
Is his teammates running the floor.
Hall slithers into the lane. Too long. Grünloh kicks it to Mallory. A brick is grabbed by Powell. Hubert Davis calls out a play. Powell retrieves it from Dixon. They go to work with Stevenson against Hall. A size mismatch. Hall holds his ground.
Well, Hall is as strong as he gets, being able to get a low base.
Vessar. Stevenson slams North Carolina into its first lead since the first basket.
Another defensive miscommunication. 2 players on the ball, leaving Stevenson wide open for the easy slam.
59-58. What a rally by North Carolina, which was down 16 with 2:05 to go in the first. Grünloh again seals off Vessar. This time he missed it. To a 3-point Carolina lead.
But give Hubert Davis credit for his adjustments. Right now, by putting the side ball screen, it takes away the help as Grünloh is off the mark.
Just to kick off a great Saturday of college hoops. Here's Caleb Wilson, a game-high 18 for Carolina. 5 double-figure scores. Stevenson's one of them, and he misses a 3. Bogovac and Dixon. Here's Bogovac off a screen. Gives it to Stevenson. He's been the man in the second half, and he scores to tie the game. 11 turnovers for UVA, only 4 for UNC. Dixon with a kickback. Stevenson, yes, sir! I felt was the right choice. Back at the school where his mom was a star. And his Tar Heels lead by 4, closing in on the final minutes of play. Dixon into the paint. Dixon with a tough shot off balance. Easily Derek Dixon. Dixon guarded tightly by Dallin Hall. Over to Caleb Wilson. Wilson, long steps. Off the backboard and good. Minutes, only 1 turnover. Dixon way short. Wilson has the off.
Into the paint. Can't get it to go. Tipped out. Duke will keep it.
But I love the physicality to start this game on both ends of the floor. The officials are going to allow these 2 teams to play. Not going to call the vertical and staying in defensive position so that he doesn't get a foul with the physical DeRitter.
DeRitter scrapping for it. Sarr comes away with it. Going for the slam, but no. Everybody's 23 years old.
We call him a first year, OB.
Yes.
That's the Virginia terminology.
That's
Another
right.
turnover.
Thomas comes away. Lewis wants to drive and kick. He's got Hall open. He had a good look. Does not do a lot of scoring, though.
But even though that's not a conventional fast break, that's the way Ryan Odom wants to play. Virginia averages 28 three-point field goal attempts per game. Pushing the basketball and finding those open three in transition is their style of play.
Inside for Boozer. Going in strong. Drives. The tip is up. That's no good.
But look who's there, OB.
Thing is their physicality and their hands-on defense. And he told his team to battle it with ball movement and staying composed, saying we want to be methodical. Don't let their defense speed us up.
That's it.
He flips it over the shoulder. And now Caden Boozer will set it up. His brother back in there. Launches and can't hit the long one. Done by Evans. He is rocking and rolling to the tune of 14 points.
14 points, OB, and over the last 2 seasons, the Blue Devils are 24-0 as Grünloh is able to get the lob. The Blue Devils are 24-0 when Isaiah Evans makes 3 or more three-point field goals. He's already on 4 this afternoon.
Meanwhile, that was the first field goal in over 7 minutes for Virginia. Caden Boozer and his brother work so well together.
Now with DeRitter on the bench, look at the difference in Boozer when he goes to the block. Oh, he's a long Molly. They continue to keep pushing. But one of the areas that Virginia loves to be able to push is with their 94-foot pressure. But they haven't played against a 6'9", 250-pound guy that can run the point. Natives on the Duke team, and Duke has kind of had a way of finding a number of guys, little, hidden gems in the state of Virginia. A guy by the name of Grant Hill is another one of them. Turned out to be a decent player.
He was okay.
Just okay.
Boozer fouled on the play, trying to fashion a giant comeback.
Well, Obi, believe it or not, giant comebacks for the Who's have happened in this building before. Something we may look at later.
We just might peek in.
That's what we call a tease in the TV business, my friends.
It will all depend what the score is at the time we elect to do that. Foster on the drive, leans in, can't finish it.
How about Gungba, though? The Tigers that evening, and they're doing the exact same thing to the Wild.
Jay Lucas doing a great job in his first year there in Miami.
It really is, and I believe a finalist for ACC Coach of the Year as well, as Gungba was able to get to his spot and finish over the shot blocker in Grünloh. But when it's all said and done, OB, if this holds, I believe that Ryan Odom is absolutely a candidate for ACC Coach of the Year. Winning his basketball program over the last 2 seasons has been here in Durham. And the guy leading the way doesn't get the votes because he's at Duke.
Well, I think Coach K went through a lot of the same thing.
Agreed. I voted for him his last year, 2022.
That's right. On the swing, Hall's open and knocks it down, a 3.
I came back from injury, or Jakari was just getting back. Now that he's splitting that time at the 2-guard spot hasn't been as productive.
Grünloh, Cam Boozer, the National Player of the Year candidate. Likely the front runner, leaning inside for a deuce.
But remember,
on a lightning quick strike for the Duke Blue Devils. And back on top by 20.
But a missed opportunity by Tillis, point blank at the rim, ends up being a run out for the Blue Devils.
Foster thought about it. Drives it, left it short.
Dickie V's voice, though.
Oh, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that. How could I possibly do that? He's my dear buddy.
We've been fortunate to be able to spend the last few weekends with Dickie V as the Blue Devils continue to play.
And showing they are the class of the ACC. Definitively. Foster with the penetration. Tried to curl the pass around to Brown and never got there. Hall from three-point land around and out.
Obi, Virginia will become just the next victim to come into this building averaging 82 points per game, and right now sitting on 47. This is what Duke has done to opponents coming into this building all season long, as Malik Brown lines up the three and is able to knock it down.
Micah Shrewsbury will tell you it's a process, and they are learning as they go. When you lose your best player, if anybody loses your best player, you're going to have an adjustment period. It doesn't matter what point in the season that happens.
Grünloh, the catch and score. Nice pass from Deterrent.
And that high-low game is going to work because Notre Dame doesn't have the size at the front of the rim. They're going to have better ball pressure on the top of the floor and not let that quick hitter and transition happen.
Harrelson will handle the ball a lot to get the offense going for Micah Shrewsbury. Now, of course, in his third year here at Notre Dame. Harrelson with 10 to shoot. Off the tout screen.
When you have the shot blocking presence, you can really push up defensively.
Out front, Serta moves to his right, launches a three. They're
really honest because they've been able to score. They've been able to load up their defense in the quarter court, really lock in. They had a really good defensive scout today in shoot around.
DeRitter inside, Grünloh the catch,
especially in the slot.
Out front, here's Tout. He was limited with foul trouble in the first half. Shrewsbury, the runner. Tout, the rebound. Carson Tout fights back and scores. 7 now for the freshman.
Tout ghosted out of that screen, and what a great straight line drive.
Lewis a triple to answer. Spins out. Grünloh the rebound, and no on the stick back. Foul on Brady Kaler, by the way. His first on Notre Dame.
That's why you ghost out of it, Wes, because you're trying to confuse the defense. Are they switching or not? And especially right there on that part of the floor where you're already in scoring territory.
Johann Grünloh, who is from the Kloppenburg province of Germany.
The one thing Virginia's defense has always done all season is push teams out.
Serta trying to square up here. He'll take it to the basket, put it up, won't go. On Grünloh coming into the ball game. He is 0 for 2 tonight. First one no good.
Grünloh's only played 10 minutes in the game.
Yeah. Second one is good. 5 points for Grünloh. Harrelson on the inbounds from Muhammad. Jalen Harrelson trying to see if he can find a path to the basket. In traffic out of a double team. Muhammad 17 to shoot for Serta. On the drive. Shot fake, fall away on Grünloh for the 1 point lead again. Here's Harrelson, 10 to shoot. Against Grünloh. Takes it in, fell off the front rim.
Sam Lewis has really come alive here in the second half.
First 2-point field goal of the night for it.
He just seems more aggressive here as the game was worn on.
Shrewsbury for Harrelson, and one on the Grünloh foul.
Lawal, the best athlete on the floor, but put it on the bounce too many times and had it stripped out of there. West, a couple big bodies banging there.
Number 3. A nice shot by Hammond. That's one of the things they understand, that he is a shot maker, and he's going to hopefully get this Virginia Tech team. You see Mike Young over there crawling for offensive foul by Grünloh.
I mean to tell you, Hammond took it right in the chin.
You see Lewis again with another putback. Let me just go ahead and say is that this crowd here is really, really loud.
Watch it. This is 15 to 3 UVA. Hansberry. Leading scorer for the Cavaliers, DeRitter, has not scored. He's working on the much smaller, looking for a switch here. Grünloh.
From scoring.
That lead was down to 6, and now it swells to 12. Bedford in the lane, not going to get it. And around the rim, the tip in for Gerdak.
and Gerdak doing a good job of sealing. And you needed that bucket for Virginia Tech because you chipped away at it. You do not want this lead to get too far. Right under 2 minutes left to go to half.
Gerdak had 17 points and 19 rebounds in the first meeting between these two teams.
Whoa!
Can you believe that?
Did you just see that?
Oh my God.
The wall cleared Grünloh's head on the pump fake. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Say, if he doesn't play in the NBA, he ought to consider the U.S. Olympic team in high jumping. He just jumped over a 7-footer. And look at Lewis. 3-on-1.
Oh, okay.
The Ritter follows it as Wow got a piece.
And you see Lewis, if you're going to go against a high jumper, you go to dunk it right now. And you see the Virginia fans showing their appreciation. Look how hectic that.
8 turnovers for the Hokies. A 10-0 run for UVA since it was a 6-point game. And another turnover. Team from downtown in the first 20 minutes. Shot clock at 7. Hansberry for 3. He can shoot. 11 points for DeRitter, 11-point lead. Against the 7-footer. What a beautiful spin move, and he couldn't finish.
Consecutive points for Virginia as well.
Lead from 4 up to 7. Too strong.
Good move by Hansberry.
Hammond coming back. Lays it off. And not going to go. And a foul is called. Grünloh can't believe it.
We've got ourselves a game here. Virginia Tech has definitely shifted this momentum. If you're Virginia, get back to what you're doing. Tillis gets that 3, doesn't get a chance to get it up.
Grünloh, an offensive rebound, got fouled. And that will be the second foul of this half against Virginia Tech. UVA whistled for 2 as well. I mean, we asked Coach Young point blank before the game, do you say anything to your team about the importance of this game? He said, I don't need to. They know what's going on.
And he said he wants them to just come out and play. And they've come out, especially in the second half. They've upped their ante a little bit, and they have been more dominant as far as how they've come out with a sense of urgency.
Dallas pretty much handling the point now with Hammond getting a breather. And he's into the lane and off the glass. Tech with a chance to tie it.
Whoa! Went up with bad intentions.
But couldn't throw it down. Into Grünloh. And the lead back to 6 for the Cavaliers. Hammond, tough shot. Hammond's everywhere.
And right there in the middle of it.
Gerdak. Abdallah step back 3. And a foul under
against NC State in the quarterfinals. Sam Lewis giving it up into the corner. DeRitter launches, but off target on the first one.
But there it is. That's Virginia with the offensive rebound. Sam Lewis unable to handle that one. Throws it out of bounds, but you can see the point of emphasis by the Cavaliers to attack the glass early and often.
When Miami's resurgence has been something to behold, the largest turnaround in the nation. They won 7 games last year. They make the coaching change, and they're 25 and counting coming into the semifinal. Just amazing. Shelton Henderson, a gifted freshman, gives it up for Donaldson, and he's off the back iron, no good. See again. Renew coming out 24 points. He's bottled up in the corner. Got it out to Donaldson. Shot clock at 4.
Grünloh got a handle that.
Heady player. a marvelous passer. They needed that guy.
I agree, OB. And when we had them on Saturday versus Louisville.
Thrill. Let's go to Molly.
Well, OB, Miami coaches were reminding their players in the last timeout, you have to play through contact to get to the foul.
So the threes, there's a lid on both baskets. Under 10 to play in the first half. Well, Rat takes the hit and
up to the physicality of Virginia. Virginia absolutely won that battle in the first half.
Let's see how they respond. Donaldson trying to get the dunk there and a whistle. Lewis takes a peek at that. Off the fake. He can't hit the shot. Grünloh came in for the rip in that time. Boy, he beat them to the miss. It does spin free to Miami. And the follow is up and good by Henderson. So now Miami beginning to make noise like they're going to close the gap in a large way.
Give Dante Allen a lot of credit for pushing the tempo and allowing Henderson to come follow that up.
Back for Hall. DeRitter thought about it. The blow by. He'll lay it up. It's going to be tipped. Grünloh couldn't get it to go. So Miami has some momentum. Allen again. Slapped away from him. It'll stay on.
Not only to an ACC championship, winning 5 games in 5 days in D.C., but also 4 more to the Final Four.
One of the great runs in history. Miami would like to fashion something like that right about now here tonight. Donaldson swooping inside and gets the stuff.
Oh, it really has. But again, the way that they've grown defensively and Ryan Odom's promise to the fan base that they will get better.
With their guards and their frontline guys here, and Wake Forest has been able to get an offensive rebound early.
Yeah, Virginia, one of the best rebounding teams in the entire country, but the guard Carr scooped one up there, couldn't convert to Ritter. There for Grünloh on the offensive side of the court. And Ryan Odom told us during shoot-around that's one thing he definitely wants to have as a focal point during this March run. Virginia's found a great offensive rhythm and another offensive rebound.
Instant offense. He's shooting the ball at a high level coming off the bench. You can't allow him to shake loose on the 3-point line.
Off the mark. Mason had the hot hand. White in attack mode. Down the lane. Floats it up. Too much on it.
Curry White got stuck in the air right there. Didn't know what to do. And Wake needs to try to get out in transition on some of these opportunities as well. You don't want to play against a set defense every time down.
Schwieger trying to muscle his way to the rim. Grünloh's
range shot. So Steve Forbes is a big analytical guy, but he's only because the only thing you can do at that point is foul.
It misses the first. Grünloh at 7 feet, 240 pounds, coming over from Germany. Got here late in the process, and Virginia feels like he has already done so well over the course of this season, just adding. Yes, he'd be the guy to change it. 4 seconds to shoot. Harris on the drive. Tough take, well defended.
That's what Duke Harris got to know. Grünloh's coming. The rim is always going to have a shot blocker there.
Transition threes.
You attack the rim. And you still got to attack shot blockers. Got to go right through this nose. The free throw line. High post and run the dribble handoff action.
Everything going through Harris. In attack mode. Drives the lane again. No good.
And Hoppy protects it. He's safe.
Yeah, with Nate Calmese, the starting point guard for Wake Forest, sideline for the rest of the season. Spillers, turnaround left hook. Bertice, but he gets it for 2.
Great patience there, finding a gap in the defense. Wake's doing a really good job of running guys off the 3-point line.
Looking for Spillers again inside.
On that block, allowing him to get to that left shoulder. When they're struggling from 3, that's their go-to.
Harris, pull-up pop. Got it.
It's a great year, and again, it's one of those things we talked about it. Not a lot of teams are discussing how good a year from Chance Mallory. I'm going to continue to drive Schwieger.
Turns it over. Schwieger. And now Miles Colvin, who's been quiet tonight. Shot clock down to 7. Wake's been forced to operate with the shot clock winding down. That's another turnover. Hand of Hall last. Lob to the rim. Colvin got it off in time, but couldn't connect. Down Colvin. Tillis to the rim. Missed it.
I think Tillis has got to shoot that. It's got to be more shot ready on the pass. He caught the basketball, ready to drive it.
Everything but the finish. Here's DeRitter. Kick out. Hall thought about the three. Now drives. Leaves it off. Plus the foul. Can't complete the 3-point.
6 in that game, and he's a 10-point per game scorer for the Wahoos.
They go back to Grünloh, another inside the letters that spell Tony Bennett.
And it's just such a Tony Bennett way of how he approached this program. And he's always been about his players. You can see the names of the guys there. The guys who helped put his name on the floor. Credit to him for putting those.
That number.
And this is a key possession for Wake. Can you finally bust through?
Breakdown defensively. And that rolls in. Johann Grünloh.
Test DeRitter inside.
DeRitter calling for it. Hall doesn't go his way. Grünloh lines up the three. Missed it. Scramble for the rebound.
As a T-shirt guy, I love the look of Chance Mallory, though. I must. Not many guys rock the T-shirts anymore.
Yeah, that was a staple of the Randolph Children's wardrobe. Ticking near 2 minutes to play. Wake Forest trailing by 8. Can they find magic here on the road? Virginia trying to hang on and clinch that #2 seed in the ACC tournament. Juke Harris and the Demon Deacons not backing down, though.
They're not going away. Again, you're right back at that 6-minute mark, but you're under 2 minutes. The time is now for Wake Forest. Can you muster up a stop?
Mallory, great pump fake. Splits 2 through contact, no call. Kick out. Hall of 3. Off the mark. Grünloh, an offensive rebound. That allows Virginia to take more time off of this clock. Under 1:30 to play now. Thomas fires the 3.
If Wake Forest is unable to come back and win this game, it's the rebound, the offensive rebounding to start the game early, and that's a big one there that made him pay.
Rejection at the rim. That is Virginia basketball. Under Ryan Odom in year 1, you get a 3 on one end and a block on the other.
That's the identity of Virginia right now. You're used to seeing good defense from Virginia. It's a big rivalry game there, and if you're Virginia, you want to get your lick back. Talk about rivalry week. That Duke and Carolina matchup will be the same.
Mason.
To get a good look at. Lots of long possessions, lots of shot clock violations typically forced.
One of the difficult things for NC State, they're used to picking on people on positional sides. And everybody for UVA, 6'4" or taller. As you see, Van Allen Lubin, who's been tremendous this season, one of the most efficient players we have in the game of basketball, turning and facing, using that quickness to beat the UVA defender off the dribble.
And that basket, as Virginia turns it over, gives NC State its first lead in the 3 games against UVA this year. Lost by 15 at home, 29 on the road, held to 61 points in each game. Now, Will Wade has admitted it. This wasn't close. And he said yesterday when he was asked about the Virginia game, he said, I'm trying to enjoy today's win. Why do you have to talk about that? He's been very self-deprecating. But he's changing some things up today, and he gets a foul. Shooting nearly 29 a game. Williams into the paint. Lubin fouled again.
Quit the internal passes. Kick it out.
No question, Taylor. Quader Copeland, 3 turnovers in the first half. That's a good decision. He just picked up Grünloh's. Grünloh is back in there for Virginia with 3 fouls. Grünloh with Hall and Mallory, White and Tillis. Grünloh knocked away by Copeland, but he recovers, and he scores his first 2 points. He should certainly be fresh for the stretch run, having only played 4 minutes.
You need him in the game down the stretch as well. Ayenso blocks out the sun, but Grünloh also third in the ACC in blocks.
Copeland trying to get a steal from Lubin. Grünloh is in there to help make that a difficult shot. And he catches on the run and then finishes. PN. There's NC State down by 8. Midway point of the second half. Copeland leaning in. Grünloh has the rebound. Lubin against Grünloh. It's been a tough matchup all night long.